Morning, everybody. Give everyone a couple minutes to arrive, get warmed up, whatever you need to do. Hope everyone had awesome weekends. Got some good runs in. We had some decent weather, not too hot, which is what we like to see. We're hoping and praying for some nice crisp mornings this September for Brooksy, or in October. I know some people have some upcoming races then. So yeah, always let me know what races you're planning to run, even if it's, I know pretty much who's running Brooksy, but if you're running some other ones, let me know. I'm always interested to hear what you're training for. I know we have some virtual CRIM people who have signed up for the CRIM virtually too, and Eric is one of them. So I gotta be texting you after this, Eric, to figure out what date we're gonna do that. But yeah, let me know these days that you're gonna do races, and if it works out timing wise, maybe I can even make the workout towards your race. If anyone's doing a 5K, we definitely have some virtual 5Ks already recorded that could be helpful for you. But yeah, that's it. Just my rambling this Monday morning. Again, I hope everyone's doing well. I've looked at the workout before. You know it's going to be very similar to last week's, and you can probably guess next week's based on the progression I've been doing. So we swiped a minute from our gear one. Hey Liz, hey Teresa. Swiped a minute from our gear one and placed it at that gear 3. So instead of 2 minutes of intense effort at the end, we have 3. And that just cuts our recovery / kind of warm-up gear, we'll call it, a little short. So, all right, you know where we're going. Without further ado, gear 1 is going to be a 4 out of 10 perceived exertion. If you need to start slower and use these first 4 minutes to kind of get there, that's totally fine too, wherever you're at with your body this morning. But we're going to go ahead right now and put 4 minutes on the clock. It's there on the clock. So go ahead and find that 4 out of 10 perceived exertion. Wake up those lungs, wake up those legs, and 4 out of 10 wouldn't just full on call it easy, but we are calling it conversational, like you're running with a friend who's faster than you, but it's a steady, strong pace, whereas sometimes we get into that 2 out of 10 effort and it might almost feel more like we're shuffling along to deliberately slow ourselves down. This is that pace that's comfortably slow. I know there is such thing as uncomfortably slow, and looking at the people here, you guys know that too, where you're having to make yourself go slower. A couple of the runners I've coached thus far for Brooksy, I've had them deliberately try to stay in the blue to green zone the whole time running, and they're like, oh my gosh, Maria, I'm like literally shuffling along here. It's hard to go this slow. So we're not at that pace. Yeah, save that for your 1 minute recovery in between intervals, or for your warm-ups and cool downs. But finding our way to a nice, strong, easy pace. All right, and if ever you have any questions about these perceived exertions, feel free to send me a message or comment here. I know it's hard to comment sometimes while you're running, but in the recovery bout or anything like that, I'm happy to answer questions as I see them come in. But yeah, so we've got 90 seconds down, so let's use this active warm-up to really check in with our form, especially after the weekend where maybe you spent more time sitting, likely not, especially this beautiful weather. Maybe you were outside more, maybe some activities in addition to running that we'll call cross-training, some hiking, paddleboarding, kayaking, whatever, but maybe you're feeling some different muscles at work this morning. Kind of recognize where that might serve you and where it might be causing some unnecessary tension, which is totally fine. It's good to have that. Sometimes it means you've been working different muscles, but practice letting go. You know, maybe if you had your shoulders up in your ears kayaking, focus on relaxing those shoulders down. Sometimes the tension in our muscles can serve to remind us to relax them. So sometimes a good reminder to have that tension as, oh, hey, those muscles are there. And yeah, sometimes they do over tighten, and we can work to relax them during running. So let those shoulders relax. Maybe give them a little shake out. We've got about 90 seconds before we shift gears. We're going head to toe this time instead of toe to head. So once we're after our shoulders, maybe we think into that core while that breath is flowing nice and easy here. You probably don't even feel that diaphragm other than where you might engage your transverse abdominal muscles, I'm sure, because the diaphragm is a core muscle too, but you're not feeling it tightening against you. So start to channel these feelings of running at an easy effort and see what we can transition when we get to gear 2 and gear 3. Where can we still keep that diaphragm nice and relaxed, where the breath doesn't get trapped, it's only working as part of the core engagement, not suffocating us, right? And then let's go into the hands. Grip is loose, like you're holding a butterfly or a potato chip. Arms just up about 90 degrees at your side. Loose grip, not going into sprinting hands or anything like that, just nice and loose. Elbows moving front to back, a little driving force from those elbows. We've got 25 seconds until our first gear shift. Watching that the arms don't go across your body can happen sometimes as you start to fatigue, or also sometimes while you're deliberately slowing yourself down. We tend to kind of let our arms get sloppy, but really get those shoulders back. Less than 10 seconds. Let's shift to gear 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 minutes here. Gear 2, we're going to that 6 to 7 out of 10 perceived exertion. So you guys who have done lactate threshold work, that pace somewhere between 10K and half marathon pace, faster than conversational. We're going with endurably uncomfortable, so not towing that edge just yet. We're gonna save the final 3 minutes of this interval for our toe the edge interval, or our toe the edge segment. All right, so right now we're going right below that point. So running fast, you've got your MyZone belt on, you're definitely into that high yellow, maybe low red zone. Maybe not so high into the red zone right now because we're just still warming up a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were at 88, 80, 90 yellow, and then let yourself these next few minutes get up to 92, 93%. You know, maybe if you shied away from that red zone last week, tried to save that for your gear 3, maybe now you let your gear 2 drift into the red zone, just keeping it low red zone, saving that high red zone for the final 3 minutes, all right? So we've got 1 minute down, 2 minutes to go here. Let's go right back to that core where we left off. As you start to run faster, think stronger core, quicker cadence, those arms that we practiced opening up across our chest and arms swinging forward and backward, maybe a little bit more force from the elbows, but a lot of that force is just gonna come with the graceful movement of your cadence. You're not needing to bring your arms in and overswing them. Just letting them kind of glide you forward, helping them serve your momentum that you are already casting forth upon your body by growing long from the floor, through your core, through that spine, and as we always talk about, that slight fall forward, and let those arms propel that fall forward. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds before our final gear shift, guys. So hold strong right here. My zoners, if you haven't crept in to that 91, 92 percentile yet, go ahead and find it. Go ahead and creep up there. Not here much longer. And then a final gear shift. So go ahead and use this next minute to find that low red zone. If you don't have my zone, then try to imagine what a low red zone might feel like, right? Red zone with or without the actual visualization in front of you kind of implicates, all right, danger zone, right? Although we're in a safe space, even though we're calling it our danger zone. We've got less than 30 seconds to go. And then from here, we're going to an 8 out of 10 perceived exertion. We're going to that 5K race effort. And we're going to slowly cut back each of the 3 minutes. Slowly. We're going to slowly cut back at very fast paces, our final 3 minutes. All right, so let's go to that gear 3 in 4. 3, 2, 1. Starting at an 8 out of 10 perceived exertion. Maybe this first minute you find your 5K pace effort. All right, so if we haven't raced a 5K in a long time, go to that effort level, right? Way faster than conversational. Finding that edge, understanding the interval is 3 minutes long. So we save that 9 out of 10 perceived exertion for the final minute of the interval, right? Where we have only a minute to go and you really, really find that edge where any faster would be too fast. If you looked at the descriptions on the workouts I posted last night and last week, that 9 out of 10, if you're really giving it a 9 out of 10, probably wouldn't be sustainable for longer than a minute anyway. So right now we're at that 8 out of 10 in about 15 seconds. If you want to go ahead and shift it up a little bit from that 5K race pace, maybe to an 800 repeat pace or a 1 mile repeat pace, a shorter interval pace. So, or I guess a longer interval, but shorter than a 5K. So let's go ahead and shift that. We've got 2 minutes to go, running toward our recovery. Recovery is super short, but then we go right back to that 4 out of 10. So some active recovery built in too, right? All right, so we've got 45 seconds before we go to that 9 out of 10 and run it home. So I want you guys, every time we shift gears within this final gear, right? We've got our little micro gears within the bigger one. You're going up a percentile on that MyZone belt. You're watching your heart rate get a little higher if you've got another sort of monitor on, or maybe you don't have any monitor on. Maybe you're just looking at the treadmill, but you're feeling that heart rate quicken. You're feeling those lungs tighten, and you're asking yourself, what can I do to relax in spite of this, right? Watch all the things we do to resist the effort that we're putting forth upon ourselves, right? Don't hold your breath. Don't tense your shoulders. Don't tense your jaw. Don't jut your neck forward. All these things we do sometimes subconsciously. All right, guys, we've got 1 minute to go. I want that 9 out of 10 perceived exertion. Take a risk here. I would much rather you cross into unendurable territory this final minute than I would have you shy away from the edge. I'd rather you supersede that edge and then have to pull back than I would have you hold back from the edge and not hit it, right? The goal is to find that edge, hold that edge. 35 seconds to go. If you've got a little more to give these final 30 seconds, let's give it, right? Fast feet, as that heart rate increases, your cadence starts to match it. So the faster the heart beats, faster the feet fly. Maybe now you're really driving those elbows a little bit to get those feet up and off the ground, especially as the legs fatigue. We've got 15 seconds. Pick it up more if you can. Again, you're running through my countdown. I've got the time. We've got 10 seconds to go. Hold strong. Keep flying. 4, hold. 3, hold. 2, hold. 1, recover. 1 minute full recovery. So stop, walk it out, grab water, catch your breath, feel that heart rate drop. Go back to those muscles. Where are you tense? Maybe give that neck a little roll. Maybe not too dramatic of a roll. We don't want to make you dizzy after that 10-minute bout of effort, but move that neck a little. Maybe just like a yes and a no. Get those muscles to loosen. Little shoulder roll. In 30 seconds, we're going right back to that 4 out of 10. So just right back to that steady, easy running pace. All right, guys. Whew. And on the note of breath, remember that same sigh of relief that you feel during the recovery is there for you during the interval itself too. So when you start to feel your breath is trapped in those lungs, tightened upward because of that diaphragm, whatever that is, focus on that exhale and trust the next inhale to come. All right, give me that first gear, that 4 out of 10 perceived exertion, going for interval number 2. So find your way back into it. Again, we're probably looking for this 4 out of 10 to be high green. Wouldn't be surprised if it does cross into low yellow, and don't worry about it if it does. Again, a lot of this is where, the science and the perception go together, but not always with running, right? We just did a really hard interval. We didn't have a long recovery in between. So if that pace that you established as your 4 out of 10 effort does start to put you a little bit in the yellow zone, but it still feels conversational, I want you to trust your perceived exertion over what the MyZone belt tells you right here, all right? So if it feels conversational, then I want you to hold that pace right there. If this 4 out of 10 that you set forth maybe doesn't feel conversational anymore, then by all means back it off a little bit and go, again, trusting the perceived exertion. Got 1 minute down, 3 more minutes to go. So maybe notice still, even though you went from a recovery to a run again, you're still settling in, you're still recovering from that 7 out of 10, that 8 out of 10, that 9 out of 10 a few minutes ago. So your heart rate is still adjusting. So even though we kind of picked it back up to an effort standpoint, it is still recovering. So feel that breath flowing as you kind of turn this heart muscle back on. Feel that blood circulating. Maybe even imagine it really feeling good, like that blood and oxygen flowing through you at this pace is giving all those tight muscles, those tired body parts, a massage, kind of preparing you for these. Really, we have 6 minutes of hard effort per interval. So I use this 4 minutes as an active recovery, active warm-up preparation for the 6 minutes of hard effort that we're about to go into. So we've got 2 more minutes. Really savor this easy effort, all right? So now 2 minutes in, trust that you've established what a 4 out of 10 perceived exertion is. Even if you're erring on the easy side of it, that's okay. I'd much rather for these 4 minutes error easy and then save that effort for the final 6 minutes, all right? So settle in, no increasing the pace from here until I give you that final gear. 90 seconds until we do. So really haven't talked glutes yet this class, although they are part of your core, but we'll be thinking into those glutes now as we start to cast our body forth into that falling forward motion. Those glutes are your powerhouse, so maybe as you start to feel fatigued elsewhere, imagine giving those glutes just a little squeeze to propel the momentum forward. And again, the arms are just helping us glide until we get to that final minute or two where maybe we pull them in a little bit more to actually propel our body forward. We've got 50 seconds more and then we're going to our next gear, all right? So enjoy this easy breath. Feel that oxygen and blood flowing through your body. Maybe think to the backs and bottoms of your lungs. Thinking down into that pelvic floor. Really feel all that oxygen flowing to these areas that we're about to summon into some hard work. We've got less than 30 seconds to go. I like to think of that string attached to my head pulling upward along through every vertebra of the spine. I feel the oxygen and blood flow there too. We have 10 seconds and then we're going to gear 2, going to that 6 to 7 out of 10 perceived exertion. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, 3 minutes. So maybe your first 90 seconds, you go to a 6 out of 10. You go into that high yellow zone. Maybe the second 90 seconds, you go into that low red zone. Or maybe the first 90 seconds, you go to a 91, 92%. And then the second 90 seconds, you find that 93%. Again, talking a lot of my zone today. And if you don't have a my zone belt, don't worry about it. Again, just look to find that low red zone. So red zone is starting to approach the edge. Red zone edge would be close to 100%. We'd be at that 98, 99, pushing 100. So we're not there yet. We save going there until the final 3 minutes, really the final 1 minute of the interval. But you can imagine if the red zone really exists between 90 and 100%, then still exerting ourselves pretty hard here. So the shift between gear 2 and gear 3 is subtle but intense, okay? 1 minute down, 2 to go. So maybe you go ahead and add 0.1, 0.2 miles an hour here and see where that takes you. If it takes you above that 93%, 94% of your maximum heart rate, then I do want you to dial it back a little. Maybe before you do, you practice quickening your cadence, relaxing your shoulders, taking a deeper exhale to propel that breath inward. Maybe you see if you can drop that heart rate without adjusting the pace, but if you can't, then I do want you to drop the pace. I want you to save going past that 93% mark until our final 3 minutes of the interval, all right? Whew, nice job, guys. So 20 seconds, I'm gonna ask for one more micro gear shift, going to that 7 out of 10 perceived exertion. If you're not there yet, if you are already there, then just hold. Sometimes that gear shift will happen without you increasing the pace just by holding the gear you were at for an extra minute. That's totally okay too. But all right, so we've got 1 more minute until our final gear shift. So either hold where you're at or start to look for that 93% in the red zone. Start to look for one little tiny shift of effort more, not bringing you quite to 5K race pace yet, but bringing you close to it. Nice job, guys. 40 more seconds, and then we're going into our final gear shift. "30 seconds. Again, what sense of relaxation can you transition from this 7 out of 10 to our 8 out of 10 in 20 seconds? What is relaxing right now that might start to tense as we increase the effort? And where can you practice keeping that relaxed? Your shoulders, your core is strong. Again, deliberate tension in the core. Let's go to our final gear, gear 3 in 4. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 3 minutes. We're going to that 8 out of 10. 5K race pace, maybe the second interval, you're a little faster than 5K race pace, all right? You know what this final 3 minutes looks like, and we are looking to get close to that max, all right? We're looking to find that edge, using these final 3 minutes to really ask yourself, every 15 seconds, given that I only have X amount of time, what pace could I maybe sustain for this amount of time and this amount of time only? Right? So if the answer is maybe I could add 0.2 and hold it now for another 2 minutes and 40 seconds, then I'm going to try it. If the answer is maybe I could increase it 0.2 and hold it for now just another minute and 10 seconds, I'm going to try it. I'm going to keep increasing, and if worst case scenario, I go into unendurable territory, I really can't hold on, I can't let go of anything else to allow myself to hold that pace, then I'll back it off, and then maybe I'll try again with 90 seconds to go. So really take risks here, really explore that edge, and really explore what softening into that edge feels like. So if the edge is a very solid, rigid place, a rock, then your body, your lungs, your breath, your blood is water coming up against that rock and softening and somehow finding a way to flow through it and around it, right? No edge is, as we're talking rocks, literally set in stone. You can challenge that edge to exist at a faster pace. So we have 90 seconds to go. Let's not find that 9 out of 10 yet, but let's get pretty darn close to it so that when we hit 1 minute to go in 20 seconds, we are at that edge. So if you've got 0.1 more to give for a minute and 15 seconds left in the interval, let's have it now. If you've got 0.1 more to give with a minute and 10 seconds left in this interval, let's give it now. So increasing when you can by as much as you can, understanding the duration of the interval. 1 minute to go. Where is that edge? Find that edge. Soften into that edge. Challenge that edge. Hold that edge. Here we go. Let's look for it. The longer we spend hanging out at this edge, this threshold between endurable and unendurable, the more our body learns to circulate blood and oxygen throughout the body at these challenging paces for these challenging durations. So training our body to increase the number of capillaries to circulate oxygen greater amounts faster through the blood. That's what you're doing when you hang out at this edge. 25 seconds to go. Find it, hold it. If you lose it, find it again. If you start to soften into the edge so much that it doesn't look like an edge anymore, then look to the next edge. We've got 10 seconds, and again, you are holding through my countdown into the cool down. 5, hold. 4, hold. Pick it up. 2, 1, recover. Here we go. 1 minute again, full recovery, and we are halfway through class. We've got that 2 more times, and then you are done. Monday workout is done. I am jealous that you guys got your workout done already. Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a tough workout today. It's funny, that extra 1 minute in the higher gear makes it tougher, but that's good. It means we get stronger. Whoops, my little tripod. I'm using my roll recovery as my tripod today. All right, we've got 20 seconds, and then we're going back to that gear 4 again, trusting that pace you've established, or not gear 4, I keep saying that, 4 effort, 4 out of 10 effort, gear 1. So 10 seconds, maybe you find a 2 out of 10 now and start to flow your way into a 4 out of 10 in 3, 2, 1, here we go. 4 minutes here. So again, we're running strong. We're not at that shuffle it out, super, super easy running pace, but we're running conversational. So maybe you talk to yourself. Maybe you got music playing and you start to sing along to the song a little bit. If you're singing, I'm not expecting you to be able to just sing without any breakup in your breath. We're not running that easy, but you could get the lyrics of the song out. So that's maybe a good guideline. But again, you're feeling the heart working, you're feeling the lungs working, you're feeling that breath. We're definitely in cardiovascular mode, right? We're not just sort of shuffling along. So there is some intention behind this effort, but holding back enough that you know the gear shifts we're going into, you know the effort levels we're going to. So holding back enough to be able to give me those gear shifts when I ask for them. All right, so we haven't talked legs so much this class, maybe showing up on tired legs. By now, hopefully everything's warmed up. Any sort of prickly knees or ankles or hips are nice and fluid now. We've got all that fluid flowing toward them, that blood and oxygen, everything else nice and lubricated. If not, maybe visualize it going there, right? Visualize all that liquid and energy going to those joints, like your little tin men's, and I'm giving tin men, and I'm giving you oil in your joints to make everything move a little quicker. And then you can imagine that too as your legs, whether it's in the joints or the muscles or anything, starts to fatigue. Start to visualize whatever it is. Maybe it's oil, maybe it's water, blood, maybe there's just a color you want to visualize going throughout your body that is energizing to you. I know I tend to be obsessed with mint green, and I like these indigo colors, anything sort of mystical looking. I start to feel kind of energized by visualizing that color in my body. Or I know I've talked about this before, but the idea of gold, light, energy radiating throughout your body. So maybe if you're thinking of your solar plexus as your sun center, your light center, which interestingly also happens to be right where that diaphragm is, right above there in that sternum, where you start to feel things tightening up as you exert harder effort. Maybe you imagine that sun center igniting and sending energy throughout the body to all the tired spots, including the lungs and including the heart, and really that energy can just dissolve that tension away and propel you forward. We've got 1 more minute at this easy effort. So maybe if you're kooky like me, maybe a good time to practice these visualizations so that we can call upon them as the effort gets harder. The more you kind of train yourself in training, just like you would anything else, right? We train ourselves to understand pace, to understand effort, to understand what our muscles should be doing. It's also nice to train our minds to understand and train our imagination to come into play when we can. And you don't have to be the most creative person to access your imagination. Sometimes it's just a matter of imagining what is actually going on in your body. It's still imagination if all you're thinking of is blood capillaries, mitochondria, the actual science of it all, and it's imagination because it's there even though you can't see it. So you're summoning your imagination to visualize what's actually going on. It doesn't have to be make-believe. It can just be in your mind to be creative. So here we go. We're going into our next gear, our gear 2 in 4, 3, 2, 1, gear 2. I want you to find that 7 out of 10 perceived exertion a little earlier this interval. So use this next minute to really work your way up. If you're wearing a Myzone belt, look for that 92, 93%. Look to get there. Look to hold there. So we're going to spend these 3 minutes kind of finding that pace and then softening into it. And once you find that 92, 93, and you've been able to kind of establish that, I want you to practice softening, right? Practice creating space to either increase or maintain that pace. So relaxing the shoulders, maybe fluttering the lips even, kind of sends vibrations through the jaw, reminding the jaw muscles to relax. Nice exhale, and again, I like to visualize the exhale coming from a deep space, like versus trapped in your chest, where it gets stuck up there. We want the breath going deep, going out from a deep place so that it comes into a deep place, right? 1 minute down. If you're not to that 93% in the red zone yet, let's find it and hold it. We've got 2 more minutes to our final gear shift, and then after that final gear shift, there's just 1 more interval left in class. You guys are cruising this class. So 7 out of 10, you know now, 90 seconds left in this gear. Then we're going to that final gear. So understanding that we really only have 4.5 minutes left in this interval, where can you go just not exceeding 93% in the red zone yet? And again, imagining that red zone, again, imagination, right? If you don't have a MyZone belt, you can still imagine what between 90 and 100% of your maximum effort feels like. You don't need a measuring device to help that, although the measuring device definitely helps you visualize. Can get harder to call on that imagination as the effort gets harder, but again, don't need it. You can still visualize it. So what would 93 of your maximum heart rate feel like? We've got 50 seconds, and then we're going to our edge. 3 minutes. So hold strong here, holding back just enough to give me that final gear shift and to start to look for that edge. We're so close to done, you guys. We're definitely in that larger finish line stretch. If you were looking at this class as a race, the majority of the work is behind you. So let that excite you, let it inspire you. Start to get curious. How hard can I go? How fast can I go? 15 seconds, guys. Getting ready for that final gear shift. 10 seconds, maybe final exhale. Creating space, getting ready to cast ourselves forward in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So going deep into that red zone, understanding you have 3 minutes until your final recovery of class. What can you give to these next 3 minutes? Getting curious. Could I add 0.1 or 0.2 or 0.5 even? Maybe get really crazy. Take a risk. This is an okay place to lose control. You're in control when you run, right? What is the worst case scenario? You pick up the pace too fast. You have to slow it down. There's no shame in doing that. I would much rather you pick up the pace and discover, hey, I actually am capable of maintaining a quicker pace than I originally thought. Surprise yourself, right? It's the best feeling in the world. Just find out that you're actually faster and stronger than you thought you were. So you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go before we recover and then go into our final stretch. So what pace could you maybe sustain for these next 2 minutes and 2 minutes only? Get curious. Maybe you find the fastest pace you found on the treadmill yet this class and challenge yourself. Can I hold on for 2 minutes? Can I soften into that effort and maybe let different things inspire that effort being easier, and knowing that you're so close to the end, knowing that you get a recovery at the end of these 2 minutes. Now just 90 seconds. All right, so I want you holding back only so much as to be able to challenge the heck out of that edge in 30 seconds. So holding back only a little bit from that edge, because in 25 seconds now, you're giving me 1 more increase. This is where you will give me the fastest speed that you have seen on your treadmill or watch or felt in your body yet this class. You're gonna let go. You're gonna fall forward, leading with your heart, opening in your lungs, and you are going to go to the fastest pace, hardest effort you've given me yet this class in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Final minute, running toward a recovery and then into our final interval of class. How quick can your feet fly? This is where you start to visualize that ground falling away behind you. Fire at your feet. How quick can you pick up those feet? Wind at your back. Send that breath into the shoulder blades. Spread your wings. Let them fly with that wind behind you. Take off. Maybe say that. Maybe that is your mantra of class today. Every 10 seconds, take off. Take off, let go. What can you do to defy gravity a little bit more here? Take off, let go, fly. You've got this. So much energy in those feet. So much energy radiating from that sun center through the heart. Just let go, let it happen. Find that edge. 10 seconds, take off. Keep going, take off again. You've got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, recover. Whew, nice sigh of relief. Shake out anything you don't want to carry with you into this next interval. We have one more 10-minute segment ahead of us, all right? I'm taking the cap off of any exact effort levels, exact percentiles. All I ask is that you pace yourself enough to give me the gear shifts when I ask for them, but your goal this final 10 minutes is to cover as much ground as possible in this 10 minutes. I got the wow face from someone. So your goal is to start, maybe you take a risk here, guys. Maybe you start at 5K race pace these final 10 minutes and then give me the gear shifts from there. Maybe they're smaller gear shifts if you start a little faster, but let's see if we can't cover more ground these 10 minutes than we have the entire other 10 minutes of class. So 3, 2, 1, give me gear 1. It's 4 minutes long. You've got 2 more gear shifts from there running towards your finish line. It is 10 minutes away. So how do you want to pace yourself these 4 minutes in order to give me 2 more gear shifts, but also in order to cover as much ground as possible? So maybe these first 4 minutes are not conversational pace, right? Maybe we go into that high yellow, low red zone early on and then challenge ourselves to only get faster from there. It's the end of class, guys. It's the end of our race. We can take a risk here, right? Maybe look down if you've got a watch on, or if you're on the treadmill and you catch that distance measurement. Maybe see, can I get another mile in? Can I get another mile and a half in? Maybe make it an absurd number and just see how close to that you can get. So again, pacing yourself, knowing it's a 10-minute interval still, knowing I'm asking for 2 gear shifts, but not locked into any specific effort. I don't care if this is a 4 out of 10 or if it's a 7 out of 10. Probably don't want to be anywhere close to that 9 out of 10 yet, but I don't care if the gear shifts are small. All I care is that you pace yourself enough to give me the gear shifts when I ask for them. So wherever you're at right now, go ahead and settle into whatever you've decided this first gear is going to be, and practice letting go. Practice softening so that as we get into the harder paces, you can soften there too. Soften the jaw, deliberate tension in that core, zipping up from the pelvic floor through the middle, abdominal muscles coming together like either side of a jacket, bracing that spine in place, and then from there maybe send the breath to those middle back vertebra all the way up through the cervical vertebra, and then pull that string up through the head. Let the shoulders relax nice and gracefully here, right? We can have grit and grace at the same time. So hard effort, but relax into it. That's the grit, that's the grace. You guys have got this. We've got 2 more minutes, then we're gonna pick it up to gear 2. It's gonna be your final gear 2 of class. So maybe you use these next 2 minutes to look for that high yellow, low red zone. Maybe we look to get there sooner and then only get faster from here. Every minute gets you closer to the finish line at this point. Again, whatever imaginary device works for you, seeing that blood and oxygen flow through your body, seeing a color or a form of energy you like flowing through your body, or maybe we go outside of the body. Maybe we cast our gaze ahead on some imaginary competitors and start reeling them in person by person, pulling them closer to you, not by collapsing forward, but by standing strong, quickening that cadence, trusting that heart, opening it up, and then when you can, adding point 1, looking to create space to increase the pace, understanding we are at the end of the race. That is your poem for the day. You're welcome. Hold strong. We've got this. In 45 seconds, we're going toward our actual gear shift. So no matter where you are at right now, I am asking you to increase. Let's have this gear shift be at least 0.2. If you're on a treadmill, adding 0.2, maybe 0.5 if you can. We've got 25 seconds and then we're going there. Nice work, guys. 10 seconds, solid gear shift, maybe looking to get to 95% in the red zone, 96, whatever it is, in 3, 2, 1, pick it up. 3 minutes, only 6 minutes of effort left this class, and you are holding back only so much as to give me that final gear shift, what is going to be your finish line stretch in 2 minutes and 45 seconds from now. So if we are looking outside ourselves, visualizing this as a race, let's say right now we are on one straightaway running toward a corner, and then we're gonna turn that corner in 2.5 minutes. And then when we turn that corner, we are gonna see our finish line 3 minutes away. So feel how close that is. Not letting yourself let up. We've put so much work in right now. Now is not where we throw in the towel. We hold strong as your body starts to want to fatigue. Do not let your legs, your lungs, anything tell your mind you can't do this. Your mind knows better, right? Your mind knows what you're capable of. You've just done it 3 times before, and now we're at the end of class. There's no more work after this final 5 minutes. We're in our final 5 minutes right now, guys. So 2 minutes. What pace can you maintain? Only holding back so much as to give me that final gear shift when we round our final corner and see that finish line. And maybe you don't hold back at all. Maybe just seeing that finish line is going to be fuel enough for you to pull some awesome fast pace for 3 minutes out of your butt and just go for it. That's fine too. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you think you're at your edge and you can run no faster, and then adrenaline kicks in, excitement gets in, something happens within you and you can just let go and fly. That's okay. Take that risk if you want to go for it. It's totally cool here, guys. We're covering as much ground as we can, so maybe catch that distance measurement the next time it flashes across your screen. I'll look down at your watch. How much more ground can you cover in this final 4 minutes of class? Which means we are 1 minute away from that turn. So in less than 60 seconds, we are rounding that corner, going toward that finish line stretch. So I want you to kind of start to understand, maybe someone yells at you from the sideline, hey, you're in 4th place. Hey, you can win this. Keep that pace going. You've got a chance to win this race, guys. So now all of a sudden, the stakes are heightened, right? It's not just you getting to the finish line. Let's try to get 1st place, all right? So in 30 seconds, you are in 4th place. I want you to start to see that 3rd place person rounding that corner right now. So they're about 30 seconds ahead of you. So maybe start to gradually pick up the pace, giving me that official gear shift in 15 seconds when you're gonna go chase down that 3rd place person and you're gonna get on the podium, right? Let's at least get on the podium here, all right? So give me that final gear shift in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round that corner, eyes on that 3rd place person. They are 15 seconds away from you. I want you to pick it up. I want you to add 0.1, add 0.2, throw yourself forward a little more. And again, it's not a collapsing. That core is still strong. You're still in control, but you're also losing control a little bit in that you are casting yourself forward. You are pulling up beside this 3rd place person now, right at their heels, going up beside their shoulder. Now surge. Give me 0.1, 0.2 more, whatever you can give. Leave this person behind you and put your eyes ahead on 2nd place. They are about 45 seconds away and they're running strong, so I want you to add whatever pace you can. Start to look, knowing that you have just 2 minutes left. You're 2 minutes from the finish line. Look for that 2nd place person. Go. Pick it up. Use your cadence to reel them in. The faster your feet move, the faster your heart beats, the quicker you are going to catch this person. They are 15 seconds away, so pick it up a little more if you can. And again, we're looking to create space to increase this pace. So adding pace isn't just a matter of muscling through a faster pace. It's a matter of creating space, letting go of what you can to accommodate that pace. Pulling up beside 2nd place right now. Surge ahead in 3, 2, 1. Make your move, surge. 90 seconds left in this race. 1st place person is now 25 seconds away. So start to want that win. Want it more than anyone else. Look at that comeback you just made from 4th place into second place now, but we're not settling for second place. We're going for that first place spot. So here we go. We are 15 seconds away. No, I'm sorry. We are 10 seconds away. Pick it up. Here we go. Pulling up beside that first place person in 3, 2, 1. Final minute of the race. It's going to be a photo finish. They're going to try to keep up with you every time you surge, so surge a little more. Here we go. We've got 45 seconds. Pick it up a little more. Where is your edge? Take your mind out of it. Throw your body forward, keeping that core strong. Gaze forward. See that finish line tape. 35 seconds away, and now make your move. Leave this person behind you. Don't give them a chance to even think they might win. You've got 30 seconds. Pick it up. Pull away. Keep pulling, right? Take off. Breath into the back. Spread those wings. Wind at your back. Take off again. 15 seconds. This win is yours. All you have to do is hold. Keep holding. Take off. We've got 10 seconds. Add whatever speed you can. Fly through that finish line in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Break the tape. You are done. Workout is behind you for the day. Maybe drop it back into a super easy jog, walk. Please hydrate, get some fuel. It was a tough class. No, last week was tough too. Next week's gonna be even tougher, but then we'll get a little recovery week after that. So let that breath go. Let that heart rate drop. You guys did awesome today. Very, very proud of everyone. Shoot me any questions if you have. Again, let me know any of the races you're training for, or if anything's coming up on your calendar, if you have any questions, if you're interested in a training plan, whatever it is, shoot me a message. I love to hear from you guys, even outside of class. So, all right, thank you so much for running with me today. It was really good to have you guys here, and I hope you enjoy your weeks. See a bunch of you on Wednesday. Bye.